news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris. There's your closing bell for this Thursday on Wall Street, where a rally that put the stock market within a striking distance of its all-time highs struggled to gain a whole lot of traction ahead of next week's Fed decision. And we bring you the closing numbers each day here at Bloomberg. The S&P 500 gained 7 points. NASDAQ gained 51. The Dow lost 32 points. The 10-year Treasury yield at 4.1%. The 2-year yield at 3.52%. A Navy admiral told lawmakers there was no kill-them-all order from Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth in an attack that killed 2 survivors of an initial strike on an alleged drug boat. Admiral Mitch Bradley gave a classified briefing to lawmakers today, and Democrat Jim Himes of Connecticut was in that closed-door session.
Under the DoD manual for abiding by the laws of armed conflict, the specific example given of an impermissible action is attacking a shipwreck. Any American who sees the video that I saw will see the United States military attacking shipwrecked sailors.
Democrats are demanding the Trump administration release the full video of that September 2nd attack, as well as written records of the orders and any directives from Hegseth. And a Pentagon watchdog investigation concluded Hegseth exposed sensitive information when he sent details of a pending military strike to a chat group from his personal phone. The Inspector General concluded that Hegseth had the authority to declassify that information, but using his personal cell phone created a risk, putting the mission and personnel in jeopardy. Bloomberg's Michelle Jimrisco.
The report notes that the rules as they stand, as Hegseth has determined them, and because he can determine whether something was declassified or not, that is one thing. The signal chat use was a one-time affair, they say, so no real hard recommendations out of this, so it still remains to be seen how it might be handled.
Hear more from Bloomberg's Michelle Jimrisco on the Bloomberg Balance of Power podcast. The FBI has arrested 30-year-old Brian Cole from Woodbridge, Virginia, in connection with planting pipe bombs near the headquarters of the Republican and Democratic National Committees. Now, this happened nearly 5 years ago on the eve of the January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol. Attorney General Pam Bondi.
Let me be clear. There was no new tip. There was no new witness. Just good, diligent police work and prosecutorial work.
Bondi says Cole's been charged with the use of an explosive device, and more charges may be coming as part of the ongoing investigation. President Trump and the leaders of Rwanda and the Republic of Congo have signed a critical minerals deal in Washington. The accord allows for access to those critical minerals.
We're going to take out some of the rare earth and take out some of the assets and pay, and everybody's going to make a lot of money.
The signing includes a peace deal between those two countries, even as fresh violence raises questions about the plan to end one of Africa's longest wars. Trump called that peace plan a great miracle, but the African leaders took a more cautious tone. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg is expected to make some deep cuts for building the so-called metaverse, something he once framed as the future of the company. Executives have discussed potential budget cuts as high as 30% for the metaverse group next year. That could mean layoffs as soon as January. Bloomberg's Ed Ludlow.
What sources are telling us is that Zuckerberg has said to the leadership of Meta, company-wide, they're aiming for 10% cuts. But the metaverse ambition hasn't really materialized. So according to these sources at Zuck's Hawaii home in the last few weeks, they basically reviewed it and said the cuts need to be deeper in that unit.
Bloomberg's Ed Ludlow. Meta shares gained about 4% in regular trading. Weekly jobless claims fell to their lowest level in more than 3 years last week, down to just 191,000 for the week that included Thanksgiving. Bloomberg's Enda Curran reports that could complicate the picture of the labor market for the Fed before next week's rate decision.
Even without the official data, of course, is that we've had the ADP, we've had those warnings in the Beige Book, and of course we have rolling headlines from companies that at the very least the labor market is softening. The question now is just how weak it is, and of course, until we get a good run of official data, it's very hard to make that judgment.
Bloomberg's Enda Curran. Traders are all but fully pricing in a rate cut on Wednesday. A panel of U.S. vaccine advisors have decided to delay the vote on restricting hepatitis B vaccinations for infants. They put off the decision until tomorrow to give members more time to study the issue. Hepatitis B is a viral infection of the liver. It can lead to chronic illnesses, cirrhosis, even cancer. The panel is considering whether to allow people people to delay the shot for at least 2 months if the mother tests negative or if she doesn't test at all. Flags are at half-staff today to honor Specialist Sarah Beckstrom of the West Virginia National Guard. She was one of 2 National Guard members who were shot last week near the White House. That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris. This is Bloomberg.